All right, so this year, my wife and daughter and I are going on what could easily be the most epic Dallas Cowboys road trip ever shown on YouTube. Our plan is to drive our RV to every single game, home and away. So we will be zigzagging back and forth across the states. And so we'll start today's video by showing you the distance and the route we're going to take. Because it looks like we're going to drive nearly 15,000 miles over 18 weeks. And as you guys know, we're taking a shuttle bus that has been converted by us to an RV. So we've got to get this homemade vehicle really functioning properly and really dial it in, because there are certain weeks of the season where we will not have time to have an issue. So first things first, we've done a big fix to the Driveshaft. And I think we should go underneath and show you what we've done, because this could easily be the most important thing we've done. So let's go under the bus. All right, so because these buses get extended after Ford is finished building the front end, we now have 3 Driveshaft pieces. And so what we noticed is on the highway, this vehicle was so loud and it shook so much, it was really uncomfortable to drive. And so what we figured was we needed to realign the Driveshaft. And so we've added 1.25 inch shim to each hanger bolt. Meaning we added more than 2 inches of shims overall, because what we noticed was coming off the back of the transmission, the Driveshaft was going up, and then towards the back rear end, it was going down. It was a real tenting phenomenon, and so we had to straighten it out. And I'm not exaggerating when I say it's like a totally different vehicle to drive. This is going to help us so much because there's tons of highway miles we're going to be cruising, and now you can actually enjoy 60 or 65 miles an hour and actually talk to your wife without yelling. So it's like a totally different vehicle with this realigned Driveshaft. And on that same thought, we've also purchased 6 brand new tires, which is 4 for the back and 2 for the front, which is not cheap, by the way, but very important because based on our test drive, is so much more smooth on the highway because these tires are specifically designed for highway terrain. So, like I said, probably the most important thing we've done so far, and yet there's still lots more to do. Now, when we're done driving on the highway and we get into our stop for the night, one of the biggest drawbacks of a setup like this is if you realize you forgot even one thing from the grocery store, you gotta pack up everything and bring the whole bus. So what we've done is we've got ourselves an e-bike. Meaning if we park and we realize we gotta go buy cream for tomorrow morning's coffee, we can leave the bus behind, take the e-bike to the grocery store and just pick up one item. So first things first, we've got to assemble the e-bike. Let's do it. All right, so the unboxing is officially complete. Here's the main chunk of the bike. It's got pedals on it for when I'm feeling energetic, and then a big old battery, and I guess even a little computer on the handlebars, which is not yet hooked up because the handlebars as well as the front tire got to be assembled. But that's the meat of the bike there. Little platform on the back, looks pretty slick. Now aside from that, we got a bag, we got a seat, we got a fender, I guess, for the front tire. This looks like how I will attach the seat, pedals, safety stuff, the battery charger, and it even came with a lock, which is pretty handy. Nice bike lock, pump for the tires, and some Allen keys. I think Allen keys are pretty common on bikes. Now the bad news is this stuff ripped apart in the bag or in a box in shipping, and it's sort of loose. I'm sure I'll figure out where it goes. I'm glad I found this little spring, because it's more than likely that spring is critical and it was just in the box loose. So anyway, it's time to start building stuff. And so this product features a 15 amp hour battery and 7 speeds you can adjust with your thumbs on the handlebars. Now it's also got these big fat tires, look like capable of off-roading, as well as disc brakes and a headlight. So let's keep building it. We're almost there. And so believe it or not, the building process is already done. I sort of thought this would take longer than it did and be a long section of video because I sort of hate Allen keys, this hexagon tool, but they give them all to you, as well as a couple screwdrivers over here, even like a wrench in this thing. So they give you all the tools you need, and it wasn't so bad after all.
Awesome, Steve.
Now, if I put the key in here and go to on, right? Now it's on. Now I think I gotta hold the button here. Hopefully it goes on. There you go.
Yay!
So now she's on. Now if you pick it up, you should be able to see the back tire. Oh, hold on. I must hit the plus button. So right now it's on assist 0. So right now it's basically a bicycle. I press the plus button, it goes to assist 1.
Okay.
It's the lowest level of assist. Now I should be able to see this thing move. Here we go.
Woo!
And then I can go to the highest level, assist 3.
Are you gonna test it on the road?
I mean, I gotta test it out now. So. Woohoo!
Oh my!
First things first, I need more air in the tires, but second of all, it goes fast. On assist 3, just holding the throttle, you saw me go zooping by. What I didn't realize is if you're pedaling, it's automatically assisting you. So you don't have to just rely on the battery. If you're just pedaling gently, it's already boosting you a little bit. It's a bit dangerous the first time I learned that, because I was just turning and pedaling and all of a sudden zoop, faster than I thought. So you can turn it into a normal bike on the assist 0 or 1, 2, 3 as you wish.
Very cool.
That being said, the easy part is over, and the hard part is fastening this bike to the back of the bus. And somehow we got the bag there, that's the garage. It's got propane in it, it's got a bunch of other tools and stuff in it. I want to put the bike in between the bag and the bus, which I think means modifying the trailer hitch. So let's see, but so far, honestly, great success.
Awesome.
Now, of all the features I like about this Hitway e-bike, of which there are many, honestly, the best part for me is one of the more simple features, which is it folds up really small. It almost feels like you could walk up a staircase with it if you were living in an apartment. And when you remove the battery, it's actually pretty light. And so at first I was nervous. Where am I going to put this bike on the bus? How am I going to mount it to the back bumper here? We call this bag the garage. How am I going to do this? But as it turns out, all I had to do was buy a foot taller bag. And then I can fold up the e-bike and put it right in there. So easiest install compared to how difficult I thought it would be in my head. So let's get to it. So if you can believe it, the e-bike is folded up and fit in this tiny bag that is hanging off the back bumper. I gotta say, this is very convenient. I mean, look how small it is. It just underneath my wood frame I had to build, because actually the bag is so tall that it kept folding in on itself. So once I built this wood frame, I mean, the e-bike folds right beneath it, zip it up and lock it. We've got our propane tanks hidden back there, a couple of chairs, some plumbing stuff, tools in the bottom. This is the entire garage with an e-bike in it, and it just fits on the back bumper. And when you zip it up and close it, it is pretty slick. And so much easier than I imagined. And for that, I'm very grateful for the Hitway e-bike, because tiny and light. It's like a one-hand carry, really. So that's one job we can knock off the list a little bit easier than expected and get to our next job. And so, as you can probably tell from the garage behind me, my dad is an absolute master mechanic. No, I'm joking. Take my hat off and need to do that. And so, as you can probably tell from the garage behind me, my dad can do all of the stuff in the automotive world. He built these 3 motorcycles from scratch, and in fact, he's built many different motorcycles and cars from scratch. So it is no coincidence when my wife and I first took the bus out, my father and mother came with us in their own trailer. Whenever you're driving a vehicle for the first time, thousands of miles from home, it's nice to have a master mechanic at your disposal. In fact, I would not have agreed to build this bus if I didn't have my dad's garage and brain to help me through the process. And so one of the things we noticed on that first trip was my dad in his trailer was still using 4 lead acid or car batteries to power his rig. And to be clear, they do work, but there's some issues with that style of battery. In fact, a few times we had parked our rigs for 3 or 4 days, and my dad needed to start up his truck and get the engine running to charge the batteries up because the voltmeter was showing like 11.7 volts, which basically means he drained his batteries really low over the course of 3 or 4 days. And so with that in mind, I am so glad to have yet another eco-worthy battery in front of me. Now you guys know I'm probably the biggest singer of praises on YouTube for eco-worthy batteries. My bus has 2 big batteries in there. And so I'm quite glad to get this battery for my dad because it can exist as a thank you for helping me build and maintain my homemade RV. Now, I sort of feel silly comparing this battery to the lead acid car batteries because they're so different technology. This is 280 amp hours, first of all, and it's called LiFePO4, which means lithium iron phosphate. The trouble with the car battery is in cold temperatures, it doesn't work like it's supposed to, and if you drain it really low and then recharge it, it's sort of never the same. Whereas these LiFePO4 batteries offer low temperature protection, high temperature protection, and have deep cycling ability, meaning not only is this battery way better than a lead acid battery today, but as time goes on, it will become better and better and better as this one does not disintegrate and the car battery becomes worse and worse. And so I guess EcoWorthy keeps improving their products because the first EcoWorthy battery I got, 280 amp hours, did not have the Wi-Fi ability where you could check the status of the battery on your phone. But the second EcoWorthy battery I got in the bus does have that app on your phone where you can check the status. And this battery here, which is now the 3rd battery we've got from them, has the app, but also has a display right on top which shows you what the status of the battery is. It's sort of hilariously convenient because my dad is not exactly an app guy, as you can imagine. So he can walk over and just look at what the status of the battery is. And there's even a buzzer inside this battery where if something is going wrong, it will buzz and audibly let you know that there's some issue with the battery. Now, what's also really convenient is somehow they've made this battery lighter and smaller than the exact same 280 amp hours in my bus. I guess they've got the same technology in a more efficient way. And so it's quite good because we got to put this in my dad's rig in a setup that was designed for multiple car batteries. So this thing is quite light. You can pick it up and kind of throw it around. And we're going to somehow install that in my dad's rig as a huge thank you for him helping us build the bus. Because this is going to totally improve his trailer, especially when it comes to the slide out going in and out, because car batteries really struggle with that, and this thing will easily replace 4 car batteries. I mean, it's almost silly comparing the two because this is so much better. And so anyway, big shout out to EcoWorthy. You guys know I love this product. And so next up, I've built this frame, which at first glance you might wonder what the heck is that, but the idea is we need more good and convenient storage in the bus. On our last trip, it felt like everything was either in the way or it was put away. But you couldn't access stuff so easily. So my intention is to build a combination couch / storage space right up front beside the driver's seat. Now the problem is, if you look behind my wood frame, you'll see what I call the doghouse, which is the removable access panel if you need to repair or maintain the engine. So hopefully we never have to go in there on this trip. But if we do, I need this thing to be easily removable. So everything else in the bus I just screwed to the floor and screwed to the ceiling. But for this piece, I think I'm going to run some threaded rods right through the floor. On the bottom side of the bus, I'll put a big washer and a big nut. And on the top side, I can put some, maybe even some wing nuts. So you can tighten it and loosen it in and out without having to get the drill out and unscrew the thing. And this way it'll go in and out many times without becoming looser and looser and more wobbly. So I'm always nervous to poke holes in the floor. But this has to be done. So here we go. Oh man, I'm making good progress today. Every single one of these threaded rods came through somewhere easy to access on the bottom side. Meaning I'm already gonna start facing the front of this thing. Very good. And so I want to give a huge shout out to my lovely wife Ivana for a lot of the ideas in terms of how this came out. So this is what it looks like in the finished product. I think it looks pretty decent. What you'll notice is this is the same cushion that is for the couch over there. So that table obviously can be lowered, at which point this cushion we already had from last year can complete the couch. And so when the cushion is over here at the front, it makes this a quite useful place to sit and enjoy the bus. But I was nervous when the cushion is with the dinette, what's this thing gonna look like, because the plywood's so ugly underneath. So my lovely wife Ivana says, why not just wrap the plywood in some leftover material from the curtain at the front door. So she's so smart to have kept this from last year, because now it doesn't look so bad at all, right? Even with no cushion there, it's not just exposed plywood. And so naturally this can be removed. And now you've got your storage, which is empty because we're just getting ready to go. And I've put this mesh over here so that this bin could never get beneath the driver's feet. But I gotta say, good idea, Ivana. This is convenient and helpful, and I would say not tremendously ugly. Looks kind of good, I think. This piece here, obviously removable too. So 2 different storage compartments. I don't love this. A bit cheesy looking white MDF, but overall, I think the bus is really coming together. And so big thanks to Ivana for some of those ideas. Now we've done a few more things I can show you here. For instance, if you remember, the crib rail here was gigantic. Big wooden crib rail. Now we've got a much better crib at the back of the bus. So I've got 4 deadbolts on this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, which means it's secure in place down there. But if I undid them, I could pick it up and lock them into up here, which would effectively turn the entire bed into a crib. I love this idea, and we've also added this small bag, which by the time we leave will be full of stuffed animals, I'm sure. And so a few more small storage things we've added. Clothes drying rack that folds up and down. But I gotta be honest, the biggest 3 things were the drive shaft, check, the e-bike on the back, which was so easy because that thing is so small and light and I can just pick it up in the same platform, and the bench in the front, which I think turned out pretty good. And so I'm really getting excited for this trip. I mean, the bus is really coming together, and big shout out to my brother for making this graphic for us. This is a YouTube channel banner, graphic of some of the players. Unfortunately, he was just traded away, so bad luck on that one. But we've got the schedule here and a place to write 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, Super Bowl bound. So the bus is really coming together. And all I can say is, how about them Cowboys? And so the bus is ready for the epic Dallas Cowboys road trip. In fact, I'm talking to you right now from just outside of Philadelphia for week 1 against the Eagles, which means we've driven hundreds of miles. And I gotta say, the Driveshaft was the most important thing we've done, because it is so much quieter when you're cruising on the highway now that the Driveshaft is properly aligned, which is good because when it's quiet in the bus, it gives you more ability to hear all the people that are honking and saying, yeah, let's go Cowboys, as we're driving down the road, because we did put some decals on the back letting people know that we are driving to every single game. And so far we've had 2 people up beside us honking and giving us thumbs up. And so we'll see you guys in the next video, which will be the game day vlog of NFL kickoff on Thursday Night Football. Say bye-bye, Jean. Say bye-bye.
Bye.